Hey, everybody. I'm here with Sandi Nypaver from Higher Running, and Sandi and Sage have just published a new TRACER program, the TRACER Higher Running 100K program. Sandi, thanks for joining me to do a quick little tour here of the new stuff.
Of course, I'm excited that this is finally gets to come out.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us, who is this program designed for?
So it's designed for anyone targeting 100K or around 100K. Ideally, there's some experience already had, whether it's doing like a 50K, 50 miler, something like that. Like that's definitely ideal. So you shouldn't be like a newbie trail runner or runner in general using this program. Some experience recommended, and not even just this running experience. Ideally, you have some experience doing things like speed workouts and long runs. And then, with that said, this program is for really. I made this program in mind for people who really want like the Western States qualifier or doing like some like the golden ticket races. But with that said, you can definitely use it for like a more mountainous 100K because there are details in the plan saying how to do this for specific types of races. So even if you're doing something like, let's say, CCC, you could tailor a lot of your long runs and even some of your workouts, especially in the second half of the plan, to train for a more mountainous 100K.
Awesome. So there's some flexibility there. If you read the workout descriptions carefully, you'll see that you can modify and do these on race specific terrain so that you're getting the right stimulus. That's great. How like say somebody's doing a 50 miler, not a 100K. Would you say this would still work for a 50 miler? Would it work for a 100 miler? I mean, this is in the 60. What's a 100K? 61 miles. That's kind of the bullseye. But how far out would you take it, both shorter and longer races?
I would say you could definitely use it for either. For a 50 miler, towards the end of the plan, there are some back to back long runs. You may decide you want to back off a little bit on one of those double days and do a little bit less if you're just feeling like it's too much. For a 100 miler, it'd be the opposite. Maybe you move some miles or some time from the start of the week and do like your long run. But really, I always say like you have to feel it out a little bit too and feel like what's right for you and also like use your past running history to figure it out. But if you're like mindful and like think it through a little bit, I do think you could use this plan for either.
Awesome. Okay, so let's actually take a look at some of the workouts that are in this program. I'm sharing my screen here. I just signed up. I gave it my answers to the onboarding. There's a couple questions that you fill out when you get started, and it has generated the first 2 weeks here, and then the rest of them are to be determined. So it looks like today I have easy running of 70 minutes. And as you pointed out, this is not just like a cold turkey couch to 100K. Like, and maybe there should never, ever be a couch to 100K program. Unless it's like a 2-3 year program or something, but it looks like it's starting me out. It knows a little bit that I'm already training, 8 to 10 hours a week. So it's giving me a 70-minute easy to moderate run, which I think is on the money for where, if I were guessing, that would be for me. Tomorrow I've got some fartleks, recovery, easy to moderate, and then long run, another workout next Tuesday. Looks like another workout next Friday, and then another one on Tuesday. So kind of intermingling easy and long run. So tell us a little bit about some of the workouts. If I click over here to the tab, the program tab, here are some of the work. Here are all the workouts that you will see throughout this program. Give us a couple highlights. What are a few of your favorite workouts and why?
Well, first I'll say that the beginning of the plan will look very different from the end of the plan. So at first, like
Mm-hmm.
you will see like fartleks and some of the shorter interval sessions, but towards the end, you'll see a lot more like lactate threshold sessions or long runs and some long runs with quality time too. Um, so with that said, one of my favorite workouts, it's always to be like the lactate threshold run. I just feel like it gives you so much bang for your buck, and you will definitely see a lot of lactate threshold work throughout the plan.
Awesome. And higher Sandy and Sage have gone into these workouts. And so when say you get to your lactate threshold workout and you're on that day and you want to know how to execute that workout just right, you just click this little how to do the workout and it'll take you in. And Sandy and Sage are the authors of this. This is not Tracer. This is all the coaches. Every one of our programs is designed and written by the coaches. So yeah, you can see. And I'd like to point out that those are worth reading very carefully. If not, every time you do the workout, you should probably read through it because there are subtle nuances, right? Like a lactate threshold shouldn't feel the same as a speed intervals workout, right? And you guys have gone into the detail to say, hey, here's how you nail these workouts, and they are going to stimulate different systems in your body. So it's important to read those carefully and actually know what you're doing. It's not just like go all out just because it says it's a hard day, right? Or maybe it is, depending on what the workout is. So that's great. Okay, so lactate thresholds are obviously a favorite. Any other ones that you want to highlight here in this list for people who are considering signing up for this?
Hmm. Maybe the long runs with quality. And I don't want anyone to feel too intimidated by that, even if this is going to be your first 100K and you're just trying to finish. Everything can be modified by your effort, like, and you can always control your effort. And sometimes, what I find a lot with coaching, instead of just like running super long, backing off just a little bit and running faster, it can make you feel a lot stronger on race day and make some of those easier long runs just feel a little bit better, and you can move faster during long runs.
Interesting. That's great. I also want to point out here in Tracer that if you get the initial calendar here and you're looking at it and you're like, this is way too much for me, or maybe this is not enough, right? There's this little button down here that says program too easy or too hard. Um, there's a couple different ways to address that. One is to change your availability. So I just want to do a quick availability demo. So right now, Sandy has me doing a long run on Friday of 3 hours. I'm just going to say, you know what? Something came up and I no longer am available to run it all on Friday. So I click this button here and I change, and you can see here that it became a rest day. Didn't really change anything on the following day. If I go in and say, and not only that, but I'm only available to do like a normal day on Saturday, so I don't have any long run availability, you can see that it shifted it and actually did a workout, gave me another fartlek workout there instead of a long run. So this will give you the ability to change as you go. And that's the whole point of Tracer, is that if you don't feel right, if something changes in your work schedule, maybe you're a new parent that has to constantly adjust to kids. Maybe you didn't sleep well because your kid was up all night. Like real life for real people happens. And that's why Tracer is different than a static training program, because it takes a huge amount of work for Sandy and Sage and the team at Tracer to build these programs. It's not an overnight thing. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and that's what allows it to be dynamic. And that also is kind of a reason why our price point is what it is. It's not a static program. So take advantage of when your schedule changes, when your feelings change. If you're feeling sick, you should report those things and allow Sandy and Sage to do their jobs through the AI, through the mechanism, through the technology, really bringing their methodology into your life through these subtle little features like, oh, my muscles are sore, or I feel sick. So take advantage of those.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, Sandy.
as a coach, I just want to point out how important that is to prevent yourself from overtraining or feeling burnout, especially when you're training for ultras. Like, you don't want to get to race day already feeling like you're a little tired and fatigued. You want to get to race day feeling really good. And what I tell all my athletes is that you should feel pretty consistently good throughout your training. Like, if you feel exhausted, like, and you can't focus throughout the day, like, that's not a good thing. And so that's why inputting how you're feeling and even like your life schedule is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm sick today. I've got, I'm starting to feel a sore throat, and you could see it took away this and just said, maybe you should go out. Maybe you should rest. And it actually kept the, let's turn off what I actually did there. And it's actually kind of interesting when you set this as a sick day, it bumped the workout. In this case, I mean, not always, right? But in this case, it bumped the workout out 2 days, which makes sense in my mind. If I'm reading between the lines here, if you're sick, maybe you should give yourself a day to kind of get back on the horse rather than just diving into a hard workout. Whereas if I take this away, the fartlek workout moves up because everything's a-okay.
But
So, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, Sandi, any last words for what you want people out there who are considering using this to get ready for their 100K or other similar distance marathon, ultra marathon? What else should they know?
ooh, that's a tough question. I would just say, check it out, read the description, and if you need to take a little time to think about it, think about it. But if you're training, if you have this goal race and you really want to do your best, it's okay to invest in yourself. And this is like a great way to do it without it costing a huge amount of money, without getting my personal coaching. And, having a plan is just so important to help you reach your goals. So that's my main thing, is invest in yourself and invest in your goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? TRACER gives people 2 weeks for free. So you can get in here and play with it, try it for 2 weeks, kind of see how it unfolds for you. And also, not only do we give people 2 weeks free, we also just stand behind it for the whole training block. So if you get in 2 months, you've been using this program and you're like, hey, this is not good, I feel terrible, which I'm highly confident you won't if you execute the right way. But that's why we give that money back guarantee. You just email us, info@tracerfitness.com. We will push the button and give you your money back because we know you're going to love it. And we know you're going to feel the benefits of training through these methodologies that Sage and Sandi and our other coaches have spent their lives figuring out how to apply these workouts in the right way. So take advantage of that guarantee. We mean it. If you don't really feel yourself getting better, let us know. All right, Sandi, thanks so much for joining me for this. And if anybody watching has any questions, info@tracerfitness.com. We will get right back to you. So thanks for watching.